there is a story unfolding that most of the public has only seen in fragments. The surface story, the videos, the statements, the composed public appearances, hides the full weight of what is happening. Behind the lens, there is a private, unbearable reality. One woman, a daughter, is facing a crisis no words can fully convey. She must manage the expectations of millions watching her while her own world is unraveling. This is the story of Savannah Guthrie at 54, caught in a tragedy that is layered, profound, and deeply personal, far beyond what headlines can convey. The public versus private reality. For the outside world, Savannah's composure has been remarkable. Millions have watched her face the cameras and manage an impossible situation with poise, calling it strength. They see a professional at her best, handling pressure flawlessly, speaking with careful intent, and showing dignity. But what the public does not see is the private anguish, the fear, and the uncertainty that define her reality. This is the duality of her experience, one track for public consumption, and another hidden track filled with grief and anxiety. The tragedy she faces is far more than anyone has realized. Life at 54, the expectation of arrival. At 54, most people hope to enjoy the rewards of decades of hard work, sacrifice, and achievement. Savannah had reached that point, building one of the most recognizable television careers in the country. She had navigated institutional pressures, raised 2 children, and maintained the impossible balance of authority, warmth, and professionalism. By this age, the expectation is to have arrived, to be recognized, and to find stability. And yet, on February 1st, 2026, everything shifted. The life she had built and mastered was suddenly overshadowed by a crisis that demanded a new kind of endurance. The crisis begins, a mother missing. On that February morning, Savannah learned that her 84-year-old mother, Nancy, had been taken from her home in Tucson, Arizona. The sheriff confirmed the kidnapping publicly, and the word spread instantly. The surface story began, statements, controlled appearances, and the carefully crafted narrative expected of a public figure. Behind the cameras, however, Savannah faced the unimaginable. Her mother's life was in danger, and there was nothing she could immediately do. The dual tracks of her existence had begun, the public performance intersecting painfully with a private, unrelenting fear. The physical layer of tragedy. The immediate danger was not abstract. Nancy Guthrie was 84, reliant on critical heart medication. Every hour without it increased the risk to her life, making the countdown to her safe return a matter of physiological survival. Savannah knew this from the first moment, a constant weight she could not share. While speaking calmly in public, she carried the knowledge that every second could be dangerous, that her mother's heart might be under extreme stress. The physical dimension of this tragedy is terrifying, yet it is only the beginning of the layers she is navigating. The second layer, the legacy of strength. The second layer of this tragedy is more subtle, yet more painful. Savannah did not approach this crisis as an ordinary person. She had been raised to respond to pressure with performance, not collapse. Her mother's philosophy emphasized strength, composure, and the suppression of vulnerability. Savannah absorbed this message fully, learning early that weakness is punished and strength is required. This upbringing shaped her ability to manage extreme stress publicly, yet it also created an internal, silent hunger, a need for unconditional reassurance she had rarely received, and a question she has asked herself for decades: am I enough? The persistent question of enough. This question of worth is the quiet, ongoing tragedy in Savannah's life. Public admiration cannot answer it, nor can professional success. Every achievement, every kind word, every display of strength fulfills external expectations, but leaves the deepest need unmet. The question has followed her from childhood into adulthood, now amplified by a crisis that has stripped away control. The woman she most wants validation from, her mother, is absent. For 54 years, she has sought reassurance in the voice that matters most, and now, in the worst possible circumstances, that voice is missing. A lifetime of performance. Savannah's extraordinary composure is not evidence of invincibility. It is a learned response to love and expectation. Strength was the currency of her relationship with her mother, taught early and deeply. Her entire life of achievement and professionalism is an extension of this lesson, performed without pause. Yet, even in the midst of public admiration, the absence of unconditional, non-performance-based validation leaves a void. This is a tragedy hidden from view. The woman admired by millions is still searching for the reassurance that she has always needed most, the role of love and expectation. This is not a story of parental failure. Nancy Guthrie's love was fierce, deliberate, and shaping. But the method of expression, through high expectations and lessons in resilience, produced a unique kind of longing. Love and strength, in combination, can create hunger, a need for reassurance that performance and achievement alone cannot satisfy. This inner struggle has existed alongside every professional success, every accolade, and every moment of public admiration. Now, in a crisis, it is magnified. Savannah is performing flawlessly on one track, while longing for a presence on the other. The gift that is needed now. The greatest gift Nancy could give now is simple, yet transformative. It is not advice, guidance, or instruction. It is not even recognition of Savannah's extraordinary composure. The gift is 3 words, unconditional, simple, and grounding. I love you. Words that require no performance, no accomplishment, no proof of strength. Words that answer the lifelong question of worth. Words that restore the sense of being enough, simply and unconditionally. The absence of these words amplifies the tragedy, making the situation exponentially more painful for the daughter navigating both public and private terror. The deepest tragedy of all the deepest tragedy is not the public spectacle, the ransom, or